Hey, and welcome back to A Muse Thing. I'm Peter. Welcome to the channel. I hope you're here for the first time, and I would love it if you're here for a return. So if you are, either way, and you like what you're seeing, hit the like and subscribe button. Costs you nothing, and I'll be thankful. Today is a continuation of the series that I'm working on about Ukraine. While I was traveling a few years ago, I met some people there, and we connected. And we've stayed in touch. The war was already going on, and now it's been going on so long, and I was thinking about how are they doing? So I reached out to Alex, who you'll see here in just a minute, and she agreed to jump on a Zoom and bring a guest along so we could talk about what it's like for young women in particular to be in Ukraine since the start of the war and up till now. Very interesting insight from the outsider's perspective. I think for those of you who are Americans, I think it's a different look than what we see in the news, because we don't really talk to anybody who's on the ground there. We see the news, we see the politics of it, and I really wanted to focus on the people side, the human side. What is it like being there? So we had a really great conversation. It was about an hour long. So I broke it up into some segments, and here's one segment when we started talking about what life was like when the war started for them, for each of them. Now, Alex, I think you'll hear she moved away to Poland and is living in Krakow. And Kate also left in 2022 and moved to UK and then back and then ended up back in Kiev because that was her home. And she will, in one of our segments, explain her reasons for going back home. I think it was great. It was heart-touching for me. I hope you enjoy it. I put a little clip of my video about the Ukraine up front. So let that roll, play that clip, and then it'll go right into our discussion about those first days and their experiences when the war started. Kyiv, 2025. Ukraine. Alex, when I met you, it was 2023, maybe.
Yeah.
2023.
Yeah.
So the war is going on for a year already. We only had, 15 minutes in the airport to talk. We didn't talk about, what it felt like. And I would like to ask that a question to both of you. What did it feel like, or the anticipation before it started? What was the feeling of what's going to happen? How did you both differently experience that?
Well, I can start. Well, at the beginning of 2022, I think that for the half of the year still I couldn't believe that it is happening. I couldn't believe that they invaded, like they started this full-scale invasion. I just couldn't believe it, because I thought that, yeah, we are neighbors. We had this propaganda also over us all the time, and I'm from the south of Ukraine, so the majority of my lifetime I was speaking Russian. I believe that these are our neighbors. They're good neighbors. We are friends, like that. But of course, I know that we had some tension. I mean, I learned it at school, all the history lessons, everything, but I couldn't believe that it is actually happening. And when we met in 2023, I had a feeling that it will not stop that easily. Like, we still had some experts, some people saying that we can stop it maybe in the end of this year, So we always have this conversation, somebody starting it, that in the end of this year the war will stop. So we have this every year. This year they stopped this narrative, and yeah, I never felt that it will stop easily and quickly for us. And in 2023, I still believe that we have a chance, because we are kind of resilient nation. I believe in that. I became very patriotic. I've never been that patriotic before the 2022, honestly. I became really patriotic, and maybe because I want this war to be won by Ukraine so much. Of course, I want to come home to my hometown, which is occupied right now. I want to visit my home when I was little. I lived there, so I just want that to happen. But realistically, right now, I don't think that it will happen really soon or ever. Especially with everything that is going on. So I would say that the feelings are very different. In 2023, I believe that, yeah, we will have all those occupied territories back. for sure. Yeah, it will be hard. Yeah, but for sure, someday. Right now, it is hard. It is very hard to stay that positive, honestly.
It gets harder and harder to believe.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm going to come back to that. But so Kate, 2022. So we know Alex was feeling like, oh wow, this is a thing, and the news is telling us it's okay. It will be over soon, and we'll be back to normal. And then things, as she said, started to turn in a different direction, and then more promises and less reality, or more reality. Things were not going in that direction. Where were you? You were living in Kiev at the time.
Yeah, and honestly, it's very difficult to recall the first days of the war. The day it all began, and the first these days where tanks were passing by your house, and you had no idea if you would survive. We are trying to go abroad, but you are just driving and understand that shooting, rockets, shelling from tanks, and there is like one chance or 100 chances to survive. Like, how will it be in the end? Fortunately, we are alive and we managed to go abroad, but unfortunately not everyone made it out. The first country was Poland for us. And when we crossed the border, we are just starting to cry because it was like the first understanding that everything was real. So it's not just the stories about maybe the war will start, really maybe it will start, but it's like the realization here inside that yeah, it is. And it was very hard, really. And even when I live in Poland, then when I moved to England for a while, it was difficult to live there as well, because some of your family, some of your friends are here in Ukraine under these missile attacks, under these drones and so on. It was the feeling of that you are guilty, that you are survived, but everyone from your, like not everyone, but mostly
People.
Yeah, people that I know, they are under these dangerous. It's very hard to recall all these moments and all this time. But now I come back. I spent.
So hold on. So two questions, right? First, and I don't want to interrupt, but it leads me to, how old were you both when it started?
Oh my God!
It's only a few years ago.
I was 30 years old.
Okay.
And I was 25.
Okay. So in the middle, in the very beginning of your whole life in front of you, just being an adult, having, maybe discovered love, maybe just getting into the workplace and life is great. Then this happens, and now you have to make a decision with all this chaos, right? And when did you, Alex, when did you leave to get out? When did you get out and to go? Hey, y'all, thanks for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed this one. Come back and watch the next segment when we talk to Alex and Kate about their decision to leave Ukraine and then their decision or not decision to come back to Ukraine. Thanks again. See you next time.